Welcome to the latest NWSL in 10. My name is Jason Longshore. Thanks for listening here on the Soccer Down Here Network. We're going to recap Week 3. We're going to preview Week 4, and we also have to talk about the big news of the week, which is our number one item. Jill Ellis announced the 23-woman roster for the United States for this summer's World Cup. Every player on the squad is from the NWSL, with 8 of the 9 teams represented. The roster's not officially official. It's not final yet until May 24th, when the rosters are submitted to FIFA ahead of the tournament. There could be some changes, but the way it was presented, this is your final roster. So there's 3 friendlies between now and the World Cup, 2 of them before that roster becomes final. For some reason, something happens, we could see a change. Not likely. There's 11 first-time World Cup players in the squad this time around. There's also 12 players who return from the 2015 World Cup Championship squad. Those 3 matches are part of the send-off series before the tournament opens in France for the United States on June 11th against Thailand. Number 2 on the list is last week, Week 3, was the last week for the members of the U.S. Women's National Team roster for the foreseeable future. That put a little extra pressure on a few teams that will be missing many of their stars for the bulk of the summer. One of those is the defending champion North Carolina Courage. Abby Dahlkemper, Crystal Dunn, Samantha Mewis, and Jess McDonald played their last match for the Courage on Sunday in Houston against the Dash. In a bit of a surprise, McCall Zerboni was not named to the World Cup squad after playing in the last U.S. friendly against Belgium. With Zerboni remaining with the Courage, along with top scorer Lynn Williams, it's a pretty big boost to Paul Riley's squad, and what could have been a big problem this summer might mean that the Courage are actually going to be okay with a lot of talent remaining in Cary, North Carolina. The U.S. players for North Carolina went out in style on Sunday with a 4-1 dominant performance in Houston. Dash goalkeeper Jane Campbell, who also missed out on the U.S. World Cup roster after being part of the last squad for friendlies, she made a penalty save on Lynn Williams in the 31st minute, but Williams got her revenge in stoppage time, heading home a rebound from the edge of the 6-yard box past Campbell and 2 defenders. Crystal Dunn floated a ball in over Campbell that found the far side netting in the 60th minute. Dunn will claim it, but it looked like it was a wayward cross. No question about goal number 3. Debinha blasted it in the 69th minute. It was also the 100th goal in North Carolina Courage history. Rookie Leah Pruitt made it 4-0 in the 76th minute with a nice diving header off of a Lynn Williams cross. Rachel Daly of Houston ruined the clean sheet with a goal of the week contender. She cut behind a defender and curled in a left-footed 20-yard shot into the far corner. Consolation effort. It was a nice one from Daly. 4-1 win for North Carolina. Number 4 on this week's list is that second goal scorer from Houston, Crystal Dunn. She missed out on the 2015 World Cup, one of the last cuts to the roster. She's headed to France this summer for her first World Cup, and she's heading into camp in style as the NWSL's first player of the month in 2019. Her 4 goals in 3 games leads the Golden Boot race. She's also added an assist, and she's created 3 chances for her teammates. She plays mostly left back for the national team, although Jill Ellis has been experimenting with ways to get her further up the field to take advantage of her attacking prowess that she shows for Paul Riley's North Carolina Courage. Number 5 on the list, Dunn was your player of the month, but the player of the week for Week 3 was Chicago's Yuki Nagasato. Big part of the Red Stars' 3-0 win over Reign FC on Sunday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Illinois. The match had to be postponed from its originally scheduled Saturday night kickoff due to snow. Casey Short, who was also one of the last cuts from the U.S. squad for the World Cup, she added a goal in the 13th minute from distance, chipping Reign goalkeeper Lydia Williams from outside the penalty area after a long pass from Nagasato. Yuki scored herself in the 53rd minute. Brooke Elby finished off the scoring in the 89th minute. Alyssa Nair, who will likely be starting for the U.S. in the World Cup, recorded the clean sheet for Chicago in her last match in Chicago for the foreseeable future. Number 6 on the list, Utah Royals. They went to Orlando and took all 3 points in a 1-0 win last Saturday. Kristen Press's incredible solo effort in the 19th minute was all the Royals needed to defeat the Pride. She brought down a cross from the left side from Michelle Mimone with the outside of her left foot. She spun, took a touch with her right foot to set it up, and in her left-footed shot eluded Orlando goalkeeper Haley Koppmeyer inside of the far post. Utah's Nicole Barnhart, 2 matches, 2 clean sheets. She made 3 saves in the win for the Royals. Number 7 on the list is the most entertaining match of the weekend at Rutgers University. Sky Blue 2, Portland Thorns 2. Carly Lloyd came in hot. She scored 2 goals in the first 18 minutes of the match to give Sky Blue the lead, but Portland answered back pretty quickly. Emily Sonnet first, then Tobin Heath, 2 minutes apart, and you were level in the 34th minute. Heath, all she does is score backheeled goals for some reason in 2019. She gets her second backheeled goal of the season to equalize in the 34th. She was involved in the first goal of the day for Portland as well. It was her free kick 2 minutes earlier that found Christine Sinclair, who squared the ball to Emily Sonnet at the top of the 6 to cut the lead in half. Both teams had chances in the second half. It was a very entertaining second half. Neither could find the breakthrough. They share the points on the day. Number 8, we start to look ahead to Week 4, and that kicks off tonight at Rio Tinto Stadium in Sandy, Utah, as the Royals host the Chicago Red Stars. Chicago will be missing 4 U.S. national team players, but they do get to keep one of the top outside backs in the league in Casey Short. They also still have Sam Kerr until she leaves to join the Australian team ahead of the World Cup. Emily Boyd will replace Alyssa Nair in goal. She had 2 clean sheets in limited activity last season. Utah, along with Becky Sauerbrunn, Kristen Press, and Kelly O'Hara joining up with the U.S. national team, they have a number of injuries that make things pretty complicated for manager Laura Harvey. She'll be turning to the experience of Amy Rodriguez up top in Press's absence. Kickoff is at 9:30 Eastern Time tonight. You can watch on Yahoo Sports. Number 9 on the list are the 2 matches on Saturday night, both kicking off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Washington Spirit host Reign FC, and Sky Blue will travel south to face the North Carolina Courage. The Sky Blue are only losing Carly Lloyd from their typical starting lineup. They'll be able to build a little bit of continuity when they face the shorthanded Courage. Paul Riley did get a little lucky, though. They've retained a lot of talent after the U.S. call-ups. Lynn Williams stayed. McCall Zerboni stays. Denise O'Sullivan will also take on a greater role over the summer for the Courage. Washington, on the other hand, they'll be leaning on Andy Sullivan and Ashley Hatch to make up for the losses of Mallory Pugh and Rose Lavelle. I think Reign FC are going to have the toughest time of these 4 teams adjusting to life without Megan Rapinoe and Allie Long for the summer. And got to give a shout-out to the great Wosonoko on Twitter, Wosonoco. Check out the breakdowns of the different teams in the NWSL and kind of how you can expect them to play after the national team roster was announced this week. Great follow on Twitter, Wosonoko. Number 10 on the list is the final match of the weekend. It's Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff as the Houston Dash host the Orlando Pride. Orlando is still looking for their first win in 2019, and they will be without Ashlyn Harris in goal, Allie Krieger at right back, and Alex Morgan up top. Houston is interesting. They're the only squad to not lose anyone to the U.S. national team. They will have some absences during the World Cup, but they have the opportunity to be hurt the least by World Cup absences. With Christy Mewis getting healthy in the midfield alongside Sofia Huerta and Kelia Ohai, the Dash could do a lot to lock up a playoff berth this summer while other squads are dealing with the ups and downs of playing without important pieces of their squad. Those extensive absences that other teams will be facing could really help the Houston Dash in the long run. We'll see if that starts this weekend against Orlando. We'll get back with you next week as we recap another week of NWSL action here on the NWSL in 10. Thanks for listening.